Welcome to Czar's Odyssey channel, the best place to get the best motivation.
And today, we're really digging into a feeling I think we all know well.
Oh, yeah. It's that start of the year, right? You're full of enthusiasm, setting these huge, sweeping goals. You know the
The
list.
list. I get healthy, I'll earn more, I'll finally finish that big project.
Exactly. But then, spring rolls around and that energy is, well, it's gone. Those resolutions are just a memory.
It's this annual cycle of hope and then deflation.
Mhm.
And our mission today is to step away from that, to get away from these fleeting wishes.
And really get into the systems that actually work.
Right. The evidence-based systems that translate that ambition into a permanent change in who you are.
Mhm.
We're looking at the architecture being unstoppable, not just, trying hard in January.
And the first idea that really jumped out challenged something I think we all assume
What's that?
that we fail because we're not motivated enough or we aren't trying hard enough. But the real failure point is often our direction and our system. It's not about effort at all.
That is such a crucial reframing. We have to leverage that natural energy spike, that first start day, whether it's January 1st, your birthday, whatever it is.
Those are real psychological turning points.
They are. But when you look back at the last year, you can't see it as a source of guilt. It's just data.
Data showing what exactly?
It shows the fundamental error we all make,
Yeah.
focusing on being efficient, but in the wrong direction. So many of us are incredibly productive.
Oh, for sure. The hamster wheel.
The hamster wheel.
Yeah.
You're busy all day, checking off boxes, feeling productive, but you make zero progress toward the life you actually want. You feel busy, but you're not advancing.
That makes perfect sense. So if efficiency is the trap, then the escape route has to be what? Direction and identity.
That's the shift. You have to change the focus from what you do to who you are.
And linking goals to identity is so powerful.
It taps into the strongest force in our personality, which is this deep, deep need to stay consistent with how we define ourselves.
It's the difference between asking, will I go for a run this morning?
And internalizing, I am a runner.
Right. So if I miss a run, it's not just a skipped task. It feels like I've violated my own definition of myself. The stakes are so much higher.
Precisely. It's not, I'm going to try to be more mindful. It's, I am someone who practices mindfulness daily. Once you lock in that identity, the action's just writing. They start to follow because that's who you are now.
And the research here shows the very first step to making that identity real is almost deceptively simple.
Just writing it down.
Committing it to paper. That 42% number is just staggering. You're 42% more likely to achieve a goal just by writing it down. How does that even work? It sounds like magic.
It really does, but it's not. It's all about harnessing your brain's natural filter. It's called the reticular activating system, or the RAS.
Okay, break that down for us.
Think of it like a switchboard operator in your brain. You are getting millions of bits of information every single second, sights, sounds, everything. The RAS filters out all the noise.
And only shows you what's important.
Exactly. So when you write down a goal, you're programming that filter. You're telling your brain, hey, this is vital.
And suddenly you start seeing things.
Things that were always there.
Mhm.
Resources, opportunities, pockets of time. They were invisible before. Your brain just stops wasting energy on distractions and starts focusing on solving the problem you gave it. Writing it down is the first act of subtraction, subtracting the noise.
Okay, that makes so much sense. So, if we're defining this new identity, we need specific commitments. And this is the counterintuitive part, we need to do less to achieve more.
Yes, you have to abandon those vague intentions like be successful or find happiness.
They're useless.
Totally. You have to adopt what the research calls approach goals, goals that focus on what you will do.
Okay, so give me an example. Instead of, I'm going to stop wasting money.
The approach goal would be, I will transfer $50 into my investment account every Friday. It's positive, it's actionable. Or instead of, I will be healthy, you say.
I will do my 45-minute resistance workout 3 days a week, something you can actually measure.
That measurability is everything. You can look at your week and say, yes, I did it, or no, I didn't. There's no gray area.
But the do less part is what tricks people up. We're taught to set more goals, to be more ambitious.
And that's where people fail. They set 10 goals, they dilute their focus by 90%, and they get nothing. You have to be ruthless, restrict your scope,
Just one or two vital commitments to start.
get those logged in, make them
Mm.
solid. Then you can think about adding another,
Mm.
which leads us right into the system for actually doing it, moving away from the whole annual resolution idea.
Right, the architecture, the 90-day system, the quarterly quest. Why is this so much better?
Because the biggest flaw of a 12-month goal is that it has zero urgency. You set it in January, and by March, you're thinking,
Yeah, it's okay. I've still got 8 more months to catch up.
exactly. And you never do. The momentum just dies. But a 90-day cycle, that's just 12 weeks. It's visible, it's urgent, it feels real, and it forces you to act now.
You can't afford to waste 2 weeks in that time frame. It changes the whole mental game.
And it forces you to prioritize. You can maybe handle 3 or 4 major quests in that time.
Yeah.
You separate them into categories like work, health, life, any more than that, and you just fracture your focus.
But what if my goal is bigger? Like, I want to write a book. I can't do that in 90 days.
So you break it into 90-day stages. Your quest isn't write a 300-page book. It's complete the first draft of chapters 1 through 3.
You turn the mountain into a manageable hill.
That's the idea. So you convert these huge, intimidating projects into something you can actually attack.
So, okay. We've defined the identity, we've made the goals specific and measurable, and we've put them in this 90-day structure. Now, the hard part, the day-to-day. How do we make sure discipline wins out over motivation?
This is where the checkpoints come in. These are the daily and weekly habits that prevent the whole system from just, evaporating over time. This is the scaffolding that holds your ambition up.
Let's start with the big one, the weekly reset or the weekly review. This is more than just cleaning your desk, right?
Oh, it's a non-negotiable. 10 to 20 minutes, once a week. You look back at the last 7 days, and this is critical. You celebrate the wins.
Positive reinforcement.
Essential. Then you check the status of your 90-day quests. Are you on track? If you skip this, those big goals become invisible again, and you just fall back to doing whatever feels urgent.
And then you set priorities for the next week.
Your top 1 to 3 priorities for the upcoming week, all based on moving those big quests forward.
So the weekly reset is the bridge. It connects your small daily actions back to the big 90-day goal. That's the macro level. What about the micro, the daily check-in?
That's the morning manifesto. It's a tiny 2-minute habit you do before you even look at your email.
Before the world gets its hands on you.
Exactly. You just ask yourself 2 questions. 1, what were my top weekly priorities?
Mm-hmm.
And 2, what is the single most important thing I need to do today?
I love the idea of framing it as today's adventure. It just sounds more engaging than objective or task.
It brings a little bit of play into the work, but the function is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Without that 2-minute check-in, you just get pulled into other people's emergencies, your calendar, social media. You end up living an unintentional life.
Okay, but intention is one thing, action is another. I can intend to work on my big project, but then I open my laptop and a notification pops up. I grab a coffee and 2 hours are gone.
And that's the exact problem the third habit solves, the focus log. This is where you get brutally honest with yourself about where your time actually goes.
How does that work in practice?
It's simple. You just track in a notebook or an app how many minutes you spend on your most important, fully focused work that day.
The key being fully focused.
No phone, no distractions.
Yeah.
For the person writing their book, maybe they log 45 minutes of pure focused writing. That's the number.
But what if that number is 0 for a few days? Isn't that just going to make you feel terrible and want to quit?
That's a great point, and it's where the discipline kicks in.
Mm.
The log isn't a moral judgment. It's just data. It's a neutral measuring stick. When I first did this, I realized my 2 hours of writing was actually like 20 minutes of real work and 100 minutes of messing around.
That brutal honesty is the catalyst.
It is,
Mm.
because just seeing that small number makes you want to increase it the next day. It becomes an internal game. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it.
Okay, let's move on to resilience. Because we know the path is not going to be a straight line. Obstacles will pop up.
And you have to plan for them. This is where mental contrasting comes in.
The OBP method. Wish, outcome, obstacle, plan. Let's walk through it with a fitness goal.
Okay. The wish is to be a runner, to finish a half marathon in 6 months. The outcome is that feeling of crossing the finish line, the pride, being healthier. Most people stop there.
But you have to visualize the obstacle, not just in general, but specifically.
Right. It's not things might get hard. It's I know for a fact that on Wednesdays my schedule gets crazy and I'll feel too tired to run. You have to name your specific demon.
And once you see it, you make a plan.
An if then plan. If I feel too tired to run on Wednesday evening, then I will put my running clothes out before I go to bed and set my alarm for 6 a.m. to run before work.
You solve the problem before it happens.
You're pre-solving for your own moment of weakness. It's incredibly powerful. And speaking of preemptive measures, you can't do any of this alone.
You need external reinforcement, accountability shields.
Yes, find a friend, a mentor, a group, someone who knows your specific measurable goals, and you schedule check-ins. Say every 6 weeks you get together and review your progress.
It's so much harder to let another person down than it is to let yourself down.
Exactly. It creates an external force for your internal commitment.
All right, let's tackle the biggest bottleneck for everyone listening.
Mm-hmm.
Time. If you've got a day job, a family, responsibilities, where do these extra hours come from?
The answer isn't about working harder at your 9 to 5. It's about claiming dead time.
Okay, what's dead time?
It's all those moments we waste on passive, mindless stuff. Your commute, doing laundry, grocery shopping, washing dishes, all that time just vanishes.
And you claim it through what? Dual focus.
You leverage two different modalities at once. So you're listening to a business audiobook or a specialized talk while you're driving or doing chores. You're using a voice recorder to brainstorm ideas while you're walking the dog.
You're layering a low-friction mental task on top of a mindless physical one.
And you reclaim hours every single week that were just gone before. But there's a huge warning that has to come with this.
Right. You can't multitask everything.
Absolutely not. This is not for your focused work that needs your single-minded attention. And it's definitely not for quality time with your family. You have to be fully present for that. This is strictly for leveraging the lost moments.
Which leads perfectly to the last piece of the system, protecting your relationships through all this. Because what's the point of achieving a huge goal if you lose everyone who matters along the way?
This is where you use a standing order social event. So many relationships just wither away because planning is exhausting. The back and forth texts, the calendar invites.
It's decision fatigue. And you end up just not doing it.
So you create a standing order, a fixed recurring event. Date night is every other Friday. Dinner with that friend group is the first Tuesday of the month. It's locked in the calendar permanently.
It happens without fail. No more planning.
The decision has been made once, and now the system just executes it. You're protecting the health of your relationships with the system. just like you're protecting your goals.
So, when you put it all together, what does this mean for you listening right now? We've talked about the identity shift, the 90-day clock, the weekly review, the daily manifesto, the focus log, and the resilience plans.
If you were to actually follow through on your specific written intentions using these systems
Mm.
for 365 straight days, the person you would become is completely unrecognizable from who you are today.
The transformation is pretty much guaranteed.
It is if you stick to the system. And if you slip up, and you will remember the fresh start day. It's not just for January 1st. You forgive the failure, you look at the data, you adjust the plan, and you restart immediately. Tomorrow is your new fresh start day.
Stop trying to be efficient in the wrong direction.
Set the right direction, solidify the identity, enforce the discipline, and commit to the journey starting right now.
And here's a final thought to leave you with, something to think about until your next weekly reset. The most efficient way to achieve huge, life-altering things is often not acceleration, it's subtraction.
Subtracting the unnecessary goals, the vague intentions, the wasted effort.
And dedicating all of that powerful, focused energy only to the few clear, identity-driven commitments you've written down.